We're here at Climates. This is Climates June. Once a month we'll chat to one of our wonderful members. And this month we're chatting to Lee. Lee runs your own branding marketing agency. We met quite a while ago. Lee runs some interesting projects, but also has a passion for getting off big tech. So, Lee, how do we escape big tech? Where would you start as a creator?
So, little by little. I think that's the answer. You do it little by little. When you look at so many of the apps that you use, there's so many of them, tech corporations, when there are just hundreds of different alternatives out there. So, if you just do a little bit of digging, a little bit of looking around, there's a lot of stuff out there that you can use that's a really good, viable alternative, but we just don't hear about it. We just hear about the big stuff. We hear about the Adobes, we hear about the Microsofts, we hear about the Googles, but we don't hear about all these other really cool companies that are doing great software and really good software we can all use and transition to. So some of the things out there are very easy to move to. There's all sorts of alternatives to Microsoft Office now. You can get LibreOffice, you can get Calibre. If you're in the creative industry now, we've got the option of using Affinity, a wonderful app. It's completely free and it replaces most of what Adobe does. So that's another great sort of option. So really, every bit of software you're doing, there's probably a really cool alternative sort of one out there. So if you're video editing, we have in Melbourne a company called DaVinci Resolve, and you can basically use their stuff for all the video editing. It's completely free as well, and it's just wonderful. It's used by some of the big industry players, so it's really good. You can try that. So it's a bit of a rabbit hole. Once you start looking at it, you just realize all the software you've got you can replace and find something else.
Do you feel that the legacy and the hold that Adobe has on the marketing industry, can we push past that to transition as a creative community entirely over to Affinity, or are we gonna need to be hybrid until we can start to do that transition? Because then if you're dictated that where you're working or that your clients like the Adobe platforms, well then you're still going to have to keep that subscription. That's one of the challenges I have. What do you feel that's going to look like?
Yeah, look, I wouldn't imagine a studio goes completely Affinity overnight. Maybe you start a few people off using Affinity and then you just ditch a couple of Adobe licenses, and then you keep that transition going until you get to a point where there's just one computer running Adobe and you use that to get your own files and your old sort of stuff, and the rest of it's just coming from it's all been done in Affinity. The other great thing about Affinity is because it's free, your clients can have that software and you can collaborate with them on it. So you can start sort of working together and they can feed back stuff to you in the documents, and you don't have to be doing it sort of via a PDF or something like that. So it can be really collaborative. So I see it as a process. I'm still using some Adobe stuff because my old files are, so it's kind of hard. It takes a while, but you can definitely do it. You just got to start the journey.
I think there's a lot of the industry thinking, well, we need to hold ourselves to the highest standard to function as an agency, but we should be looking at how can we have that better relationship with the client, which is like Affinity opens that door, which is amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, look, it's a bit of a trap we've got sucked into. All our files are kept in this one place and they're all kept in a certain format and they're all sort of managed for us, and it's quite hard to get out of that trap and just say, actually, no, I'm moving away from all that. And it does take a bit of work. It's not, not super easy. You can learn Affinity in a week, basically, and be competent and up to speed if you're using for design or anything like that.
And I think another issue is the convenience of the status quo. But through the efforts, just put in a bit of time in to understand where your money's going to. We pay for subscriptions, funding some abhorrent stuff these days. And it's revealed. And it's like, well, I don't want to give my money over to these corporations. So
But you're literally saving thousands. I had a perpetual license with Microsoft for one of their products, and now they're just pulling it. Even though when I bought it, it said it's a perpetual license. Now they're saying no, it's not, and you can't have it anymore. So it's just like they can do that rug pull at any time. So having that sort of, to being able to get away from it, sort of, it's pretty good.
I suppose, to wrap that up is with the Climates community, we want to see those positive impacts in what we do can take many shapes and forms, and getting off big tech platforms is a big part of that. We've got to drain the swamp. We've got to take the money away from these evil tech oligarchs and put it back into community support, like Canva, Australian origins, Affinity, Australian origins, DaVinci,
DaVinci,
local, and not just design software, all platforms. If you're paying a subscription, where's your money going? Be critical of that and see if you can find a way to get off that.
Support open source software. Those initiatives as well.
It takes a bit of effort, but it's worth it. In the long run, it's a good thing to do because they control everything in terms of the software and everything, and they can manipulate how you use it as well. That's a bit waffly. That will probably be cut out. But anyway, thank you, Lee. Great conversation here at Climates. We're here once a month. White Hart Bar. Great tunes, good people, good times. Thank you so much, Lee.